Dave Canales is losing my confidence as a head coach. And I'll tell you why. Bryce Young, we can debate till we're blue in the face, till we're Panthers blue in the face, about what is the cause of his struggles. Is it Bryce isn't good? Is it the supporting cast? Is it the play calling? Is it the development? Was he never that good? Is it his height? Is it his this? Is it his that? We can go through it all. But here's where my next question goes. Who is being used correctly? Right? Let's say Bryce, it's Bryce's fault. For the sense of the argument, it's Bryce's fault. Who is being schemed up the way that their talent says they should? Because that's what a coach does, right? You take the pieces that you're given from your GM, the players, and you find a way to get the most out of them. Even some of the players that are having success, I don't think are flashing some greatness. I don't believe are being used the way they should. According to Player Profiler, you can go look it up. It's a site it's an analytics site, kind of along the lines of Next Gen Stats. They do a bunch in the fantasy community. Xavier Legette was the second most explosive athlete at wide receiver in the draft. That's why he was taken at the end of the first round, despite only having 1 year of production in college and being a late breakout and all. It's because he had the explosiveness. He has one explosive play this year. Not exactly being given the ball in space a lot. He is 76th in explosive play rating among qualified wide receivers, which is actually below average for his position. Are you turning him into a possession receiver? Because you don't draft possession receivers in the first round unless they're the Michael Thomas kind, and he was even a second-round pick. And then you got to get him the ball 140 times for it to make sense. I look at this offense, and there's a lot to be desired. How many times have we screamed about the running game not being utilized enough or not being utilized in the most important positions? You have Robert Hunt, who is a road grader. He is a massive human that moves people off of their spot. You had a 3rd and 2 and a 4th and 2, and you ran the world's weirdest play on 4th and 2 rather than going to Chuba Hubbard behind Robert Hunt. I'll tell you what I do. I pull Robert Hunt to the right. I have Damian Lewis opening up a hole. I have Robert Hunt crashing through that hole, and I have Chuba Hubbard hand on his back just forcing his way for a couple of yards. Because that's how you use your strength. That's how you do it. Dave Canales is losing my confidence as a head coach. Bryce Young wasn't good enough, I hear you, but neither was the play calling. And Dave Canales at this point is obviously in a stage of his career where he just doesn't trust young players. He doesn't trust them to run every route in the route tree. He doesn't trust them as far as he can throw them in many cases. So much so that Sean Payton, the head coach of the Denver Broncos, had the audacity to say this postgame.
I said this, it's not a good offense we played. It's just the truth. So we expected that, and we're going to see a lot better teams.
That offense was not a good offense we played.
This was when he was asked, hey, how impressed were you with your defense today? That's what he ended up saying.
Yeah, we weren't even impressive. They were just bad, is what he was getting at.
Hey, he's like, yeah, we made good stops, but that team wasn't very good.
And do you know what the crazy part is?
What's that?
It didn't feel crazy.
Now he's like, I just find the lies.
I always say, like, that's when you know you're great, when you can just casually say, like, I'm the best out there right now. And it doesn't become headlines. The next day, like, if Michael Phelps was being interviewed and he just said, like, well, I'm the best swimmer of all time, so I know what it's like for Katie Ledecky. That's not even a highlight the next day. No one's writing stories of, like, Michael Phelps calls himself best swimmer of all time because everyone just assumes it's true. A head coach in the NFL just casually about another team said that offense is not a good offense. And today, they're not leading SportsCenter with, like, Sean Payton disrespects Panthers. Everyone just kind of went, yeah, all right. So however good Michael Phelps is at swimming, the Panthers' offense is equally as bad. That's where you're at right now. The game management stuff is frustrating. The decision-making is frustrating. I thought that first series could have been a turning point, right? Complete a bunch of passes. That touchdown to Xavier Legette is not only not a tough or not an easy catch, it's not an easy throw. There's a lot of bodies around the ball, and I know it appeared like it was behind him. There were defenders there that might have gotten a hand on it if he put it like, a foot in front of his chest. That was a good play. Did anyone do anything to build off of that play?
Nope.
Did the offense go, all right, we got a quarterback who had zilch confidence, just make a couple of nice throws and throw a touchdown. Let's build off of that confidence. Nope. And oh, by the way, he was doing it without his number 1 wide receiver, without his number 2 wide receiver. And he found a way to get something done, and it ended with a just air out of the balloon. A good coach, a good play caller, smells blood in the water. All right, we got something going. Let's take a chance. Let's see if we can build off of it. Let's see if we can get a rhythm. Let's see if we can get them on their heels. Only you got to play, and then it was like, all right, back to what we were doing. And now you have to make decisions about the future. Deontay Johnson, if you listen to Adam Schefter on the Pat McAfee show, which we'll play for you here in a second, he gone.
Deontay Johnson, in my mind, is going to be traded by next week. I don't know whether it'll be this week or next week, but I expect that Carolina and Deontay Johnson will part ways and each side will go its own way. And the question is where he winds up. And I think he gets traded.
So it's not going to get easier. It's not going to get easier. Now, if Andy Dalton comes out there and suddenly he's the most creative play caller in the world, it would just build into my knowledge, my observation that he doesn't like young players. Which, fine, I guess, right? There's college coaches that don't play freshmen. Used to be a lot more of them, but now one and done, you kind of have to. But there used to be coaches when freshmen aren't going to start for me. They aren't going to play closing minutes for me, and they just wanted experience. Maybe that's Dave Canales. If your age doesn't start with a 3, he doesn't want you playing quarterback for him. Maybe that's him. But then you're never going to have the truly elite quarterbacks. You're going to be trying to get it done with veteran journeymen as much as you can. Because I started having this question. This is why my confidence in Dave Canales is waning aggressively. This offseason, by the way, I think this past weekend, nail in coffin, Bryce Young's not the guy moving forward, especially not the combination of Bryce Young and Dave Canales. What kind of quarterback works with Dave Canales? Because this upcoming offseason, they're going to have to go find a guy that will work with Dave Canales. They can't fire him because they've been too impatient with Frank Reich and all that, so they don't want to be the team that just one year coaches. What quarterback works? If I'm Dan Morgan, I'm going to Dave Canales. I'm saying, who do you need me to go get? We're going to have a top draft pick. Do you want Shedeur Sanders? Do you want Cam Ward? I'm looking at it going, he won't trust those guys because he doesn't seem to like the young guys. Are you going, all right, get a veteran? Who are you looking at? Justin Fields? Who are you looking at? Gardner Minshew?
Russell Wilson?
Russell Wilson? Was that what this is? Because I don't see I don't see any of those guys working.
And you know Tepper doesn't want that.
You know Tepper doesn't want. But so I'm looking at it going, if I can't think of a quarterback that would have success with you as the coach, how am I supposed to sit here and be confident with you as the coach? Because if you say, like, oh, well, if you give him Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson, he'll be great. I'll go, yeah. If you give me those guys, I'll find a way. Like that, and that's not a compliment to me. That's a compliment to those 3 guys. If you need an all-world quarterback to be successful, you're not an all-world coach. It's the reason I love the Sean Paytons when he was in New Orleans, the Andy Reids, the Kyle Shanahans. It's because if you go back and look at their history, I mean, there was a good year there from like Kevin Kolb with Andy Reid. He got it done with Alex Smith. He got it done with Michael Vick. He got it done with Donovan McNabb. He got it done with Patrick Mahomes. He got it done with all of these guys. You look at Kyle Shanahan. Nick Mullins was pretty darn good in his system. Jimmy G was pretty darn good in his system. Obviously, Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, pretty good in his system.
Matt Schaub led the league in passing.
That'll tell you right there.
Yep. That was the time when he was at the Texans.
That'll tell you right there. Remember there was a time where the Saints could plug in Taysom Hill, Teddy Bridgewater, Jameis Winston, Drew Brees would get hurt, and whoever just happened to be walking by, Sean Payton was like, I'll go 4-2 with this guy. Like, that's the way the good coaches are. I'm looking at Dave Canales going, nah, no, he's not winning with Andy Dalton, not winning with Bryce Young. I don't see anyone that obviously wins with him. Where do you go from there?
He gets too cute at times. Like that 4th and 2.
100%.
That 4th and 2, I'm like, what are you doing? Like 3rd and 2, you take a shot. If you know you're going for it on 4th, hey, if we don't convert here on 3rd down, we're going to go for it on 4th. I'm like you mentioned, Robert Hunt, Damian Lewis, Ike Ekwonu's best thing is run blocking. You paid all these money, these guys up front. Meat potatoes, the damn thing. Turn and hand the ball to Chuba Hubbard and get 2 yards. And then keep the drive moving.
And then first down, do whatever the heck, then go nuts.
Then play action, bootleg, whatever it is that you want to do. But like trying to get cute with this read option flare pass thing to the short side of the field. I was like, you thought that was going to work all of a sudden? A play you haven't run all year? Cool.
Yeah, but he's
against one of the best defenses in the league?
Hell, he's been saving it.
Yeah, for what?
For that moment. To get too cute. I'm with you, though. I agree. I think sometimes play callers, they can't help themselves. Simplicity sometimes is the best thing in the world. And the best coaches know that, by the way. The ones I was talking about. Like Isaac Garendo is killing it for the Niners and replacement of the replacement running back. Why? Because they kiss, right? They keep it simple, stupid, out there with the Niners.